The Taiwanese menu is full of different dishes that look suspiciously like things you can find in other Asian menus, but there are always one or more added touches that make them Taiwanese. And out of this platter of dishes that is still evolving is the very odd one, the beef noodle soup. I mean, everyone has beef noodle soup, right? And especially in East Asia. What makes our beef noodle soup ours? And why is it such an iconic staple when you think of Taiwanese cuisine? Given the fact that people on the island didn't really eat beef just 70 years ago.
Farmers, they don't eat beef because cow is supposed to be a family member.
Beef was a taboo food for almost every Taiwanese.
Well, guess what? Now you can order a piping hot bowl of beef noodles, even when you're out partying in a Taiwanese karaoke. There are many theories for why cows went from the field to our tables. But there's this funny old grandma story you still do hear from time to time.
You know, everything American was sort of popular to this generation. And so there's this idea that, like, if you eat beef, that you will be big and strong like an American.
And above all, what I really want to know is, how have we tweaked the simple beef noodles into something we can call our own, and within just a few decades? And this is something pretty close to my heart as well, because beef noodles is the dish that gave me my start in the New York City food scene. My name is Eric Z. I am the chef owner of 886 and Wonwon, two Taiwanese restaurants in New York City. Although chef is a very generous term, I think. All I do is just kind of come up with a menu and I make sure the restaurants run. I was born and raised in Taiwan, grew up in Taipei until I was 18, came to New York for college and kind of just stuck around. I opened my first restaurant, well, I created a startup called Scallion Foods, which is a packaged, pre-cooked meals for consumers who would purchase them online, and I would deliver it to them. So beef noodle soup, I would cook the soup, package it in a little plastic sealed bag, and then I would package about 150 grams of uncooked noodles in a different package, wrap them together, deliver it to you, frozen. So all you gotta do is microwave the soup, cook the noodles, and in 5 minutes you have sort of a fresh beef noodle soup, kind of like a homemade kit. And then things sort of snowballed from there. That's why you can say that the beef noodle soup as a dish is really personal for me, which is why I want to dissect it. Not just to understand what we've done to make it Taiwanese, but also to uncover the interesting stories behind how it became such a bedrock of Taiwanese cuisine. I still make beef noodles. Two different versions, in fact, at both my restaurants. But I should first explain what are the hallmarks of Taiwanese beef noodles. Our version of this dish is always made from wheat noodles. It is also characterized by the use of pickled mustard greens with warm spices and a flavor that is almost sweet rather than just savory. But telling that to you, however, it's not the same as tasting it. Not like you can. But today, for the sake of this show, I'm cooking up a beef noodles gathering for some of my closest friends in the industry. It might be surprising because it's kind of hard to get anyone else in to eat this stuff for free on camera. So yeah, this is the soupy beef noodle soup, and this is the dry beef noodle soup. Like, in case you didn't notice the lack of broth over here.
Give each other soups.
This one is just like, it's hot in New York, right? So every year, 886 can't sell beef noodle soup from, May until October. So I had to come up with a way to utilize all the beef fat and like sell the beef shanks and shit. So we take beef fat, render it down, make chili oil out of it.
And I always wanted to try this actually.
Mix it.
Sorry.
Let's just make the beef fat into a vinaigrette and then mix your noodles with it. It's like essentially a salad.
Cold.
It's room temperature. So
Fucking good.
So good.
it's like good.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right? I hate to say it, but my restaurants, we're not aiming to be the most delicious. We're just aiming to be not bad.
We can work on the stickiness of your floors, so yeah.
I like the dry ones so good.
Oh, thank you.
I like both, but the dry one especially. There's like more heat to it.
Yeah, so the chili oil we make from the tallow, that's it. That's the key. And you make the vinaigrette. I've known Rich since 2016, right? So this would just come into the Tang. He still had his ponytail like samurai hair back then. We would just come and eat, crush a bunch of food by himself. And
I think our best friend was like, man, he's gonna open a restaurant. He said, open a restaurant before you do. And I was like, man, that's awesome. So I went to go, and when I ate the food, I was like, this just tastes so Taiwanese, you know? We just kept on going back.
The question of what is Taiwanese cuisine is very much a loaded question. There's no right answer. Taiwanese food is a feeling. It really is a feeling. There are the recognizable dishes, right? You have huajian, very Taiwanese. You have beef noodle soup, very Taiwanese. Is it actually? You can find something very similar in Sichuan, but what makes Taiwanese beef noodle soup Taiwanese beef noodle soup? Taiwanese cuisine is like a pot of consomme, and we're at a period of time where we're adding our own ingredients into this consomme. It's a never-ending project. Nobody wins by trying to define it.
So how did Taiwanese chefs before me combine their feelings and the ingredients they had on hand to create the flavors that make Taiwanese beef noodle soup so unique? We need to go back to the source, to Taiwan, and see what we can learn. The first thing I want to do is to reconnect with my own feelings about a dish that is just as everyday as it can get on the island.
我要半斤半肉可以吗
现在牛筋我现在没卖，
？OK， 好，那我就牛肉面。
牛面卖完，
牛肉面卖完了，
对，1点多就没，不好意思啊，
那一点点肉有吗？有没有任何？
完全都没。
那你汤面就也可以。
对，要不然你就猪脚用牛肉汤面，
好，猪脚放在盘子里，
对，
可以吗？然后一个牛肉汤面，
汤面，
对，可以。We got beef noodle soup without the beef. It's a beef soup with noodles, so it's honestly, it's just as good. Sold out of beef at 1 in the afternoon, and it's only 6 p.m. I don't know if they just under-prepped or their business is too good, but none of that matters right now. None of that matters. It's every time I come back to Taiwan, I come here at least once. Most of the time by myself. It's like, it's my place of solace. My lower school was about like a 15-minute walk from here. So every day after school, I would pass by this stall because the owner right now, his dad used to always be inside hand cutting noodles. And as a kid, I was just fascinated all the time. And then the moment I started getting allowances, I was coming here by myself. It was about the 5th grade. So a lot of things are better left unsaid. And I'm not gonna talk about the flavors of this place because the meaning of this establishment to me is uniquely to me. And I feel like this translates to beef noodle soup. Everybody has their favorite, and their favorite is linked to nostalgia. It's unequivocally linked to nostalgia. To the people who grew up on this island, or people who are linked or have any sort of association with this island, this dish is a childhood.
Where I go from here to look into the subject of Taiwanese beef noodles must also take into account how my fellow locals feel about this dish. I head to Tainan, to the southwest of Taiwan's main island. This area is also known for a breakfast favorite that may offer clues as to why Taiwanese approach beef noodles the way we do. Even though this isn't exactly the same dish, it is in fact a beef soup that's actually made a little bit differently. And this place is one of Tainan's most popular restaurants serving just that.
你好，你好，
嗨，
谢谢你带我们来。我们这里开多久？
大概20几年了。
20几年。哦，这个是新店。
这边是新店，移过来大概只有几年而已。
OK，厨房超级大。
对，因为做的比较透明，让大家看得比较安心。对，
确实是。
哎，
那我们继续看一下厨房。
好好。
所以你们牛肉是每天新鲜拿？
对，我们每天就是有4、5批的肉进来。对，
一天
都有4、5批，都不同进场点。
了解。
哎，
然后当天拿到，当天就卖完。
对，当天来当天卖完。
哇塞，真的是一天大概多少斤？
一天大概有100多斤吧。
你们的汤就是大骨、洋葱，一大堆蔬菜水果嘛，对不对？
对，还有一些新鲜的那个大腩、小腩。
哦，牛腩
跟小腩。
I don't think I have been more excited for anything in my life leading up to this point. It's got a sweetness that just makes you smile. It's ridiculous how good this is.
我们这个都是前一天晚上熬给隔天，所以大概都是8个小时以上的熬汤。
了解。
对，那我们里面都放有大腩、小腩、骨头，还有一些蔬果。
OK。
对。
像吃牛肉汤这一个习俗，到底是从哪里来的？
早期是半夜宰杀，因为它没有那么盛行。这边靠海比较多那种渔民，那他们半夜出海，他们要去出海之前可以去吃这个早餐。
It is so balanced. Just when you think the sweetness is going to become overwhelming, the Chinese spices and medicine rounds it out. And then the beefiness is only at the very end of the note. 你们一天这样大概做多少客人？
一天大概应该200-300跑不掉吧。
200-300个客人。
对。
外面就200个人了。
没有，每天都这样啦，只是今天很多间都没有开。那如果平常礼拜3、礼拜4就大家都有开的情况下，就会比较少，客人没那么多。
了解。所以你们第一间店是开了20几年？
对，20几年。
I can see why they eat this for breakfast because it's super light. It's really, 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 really clean. Impossibly clean.
这个是红烧汤。
红烧汤，所以是拿那个高汤再更多的步骤做出来。
对，我们是用小骨汤下去熬成红烧的汤。它那个汤是不一样，那个汤是红色的，然后那边的汤是清炖的。
OK。
我们汤头是不一样的。
了解。那你们进牛肉的时候是带骨进来，然后你把骨头剔下来做高汤吗？还是
没有，它是分开的。
OK。
它就是在上化屠宰场，它就已经帮我们分装过来了。
了解。
对。
OK。那所以牛肉汤本身 OK， 切好的牛肉是放在那里。
对。
然后你们称重装碗里，然后呢再拿到那边去倒。
对。
OK。那这个是拿来炒的是吗？
对，那个是炒肉。
OK，所有东西通通都 SOP 化。
对。
It's very hearty and it's very rich. It simply is not, because you gotta remember the cattle is really lean. So when you're not adding any extra fat to the broth, right? All they do, the preparation is just this pour hot broth onto raw beef. All you're tasting is the texture of this freshly slaughtered cow.
And that is the reason why I'm here. How much of what we get in beef soup or beef noodles are actually a result of the kind of cattle being raised on the island?
这个肉是今天几点钟宰？
大概现在这个肉是早上10点半进场的。
10点半进场，那它10点半进场大概是几点钟宰杀的
？10点半大概是7点多，那个6、7点那时候。
当天所有的牛肉都是当天宰杀？
没有，我们有对，都当天宰杀，但是它有分好几批的时间在杀。
了解。
对。
那为什么要分这样的一批一批呢？
因为这样子比较新鲜啊。
所以它就里面所有的那个那叫什么 hemoglobin 都还在里面。
对。
它所有的那个蛋白水
都还在含在里面，吃起来是比较 Q 弹这样子。
已经到了，你们一次进多少？
目前这一批是60几斤，像这一块就是花肉。
花肉是肚子这边吗？还是
对，比较有油脂的地方，嘿。
因为它做法其实有一点像广东潮汕那边的那种牛肉汤火锅，它是有文化上的交叉吗？还是？
其实刚开始也没有很多人吃这个，因为吃这个很营养。对，所以后续就变成说，因为这边已经全镇观光区之后，
对，
那产地又在台南，就变成有一个盛行这样子。
就非常非常特殊的。
对，
我可以摸一下吗？
可以。
因为它这个是冷冷的。
那都是温体刚杀，对。
This quality of beef and this quality of beef soup, you can pretty much only get in Tainan. It's because of the geographic distance, right? The slaughterhouses are all in Tainan. So they're able to deliver the beef as well as the bones essentially before the beef even begins the rigor mortis process, right? So it is slaughtered, it is butchered, and it is trucked up and then is delivered to the restaurant. You don't get this anywhere else. You truly do not. And it's also because Taiwan, to my knowledge, doesn't really export fresh cuts of beef. So whatever they raise, whatever they slaughter is consumed within the island, right? This explains the level of freshness. 我们这辈子没有摸过这么新鲜的肉。这个鸡肉组织哇，不一样啊？还会动？
对，
就那个它会抽。
对，它的神经还没有完全死掉。
哇塞
Getting fresh cuts, or warm-bodied beef as we call it, is one thing. But do Taiwanese cows also taste different in any other way? Before that, we should address another matter. Remember what I said about beef not being eaten widely in Taiwan just over 70 years ago? So how did that change? These days, when we see cows, we see lunch.
During the 1895 to 1945 period, they would never have written anything about beef, because at that time beef was a taboo food for almost every Taiwanese. Well into the 1960s, probably, in every Taiwanese farming village, you could expect to see water buffalo, who would be used for plowing. People living by the sea would have eaten a lot more seafood. People living in the interior would have been dependent more on game and wild vegetables.
While we were doing research, there are several beef sources that we came across. The Japanese, due to their Western influences, they encourage people to eat beef. So they brought that culture over to Taiwan.
Some people say the popularity of beef in Taiwan, for example, beef noodle soup, is related to the American military presence after World War II. But it seems it's more likely to be that you had an influx of people from mainland China who included people from beef-eating areas of China.
It took a generation or two to kind of come out of that thinking. One thing that really helped spread acceptance, I should say, of beef was that, every young man in Taiwan has to serve a couple years in the military. And the military rations were supplied by the US. And a lot of those rations were made with beef, because that's what Americans eat a lot of.
You might be getting confused here with what all these folks are saying, so allow me to give you a quick history lesson. Between 1895 to 1945, Taiwan was a Japanese colony after the Imperials took it from the dying Qing dynasty. Fast forward to 1949, it became like the escape plan for the nationalists who had just lost the Chinese Civil War against the communists. In the decade after that, Taiwan had a huge US military presence all the way up to, well, to be frank, we can never really say when they left. That's not important though. The key takeaway is, this is why our food is so full of stuff from everywhere. And with that out of the way, let's go back to the more important question. Do Taiwanese cows actually taste different? To do that, I'm headed straight to the source, the cow farms of Yunlin, Taiwan.
边开多久啊？
这边目前11年。
美国牛是主要是做汉堡跟牛排嘛，那台湾的牛是不是比较多？
我们的东西依我们目前来讲，我们就很多元，中餐、西餐我们都可以做。我们台湾就是当初国民政府来的时候，我们很多饮食文化带进来，所以四川啊，然后潮州啊，不同的文化杂烩在一起，那开始从牛肉面开始，到转变到牛肉汤、牛肉火锅。
小时候长大的时候，常常就是看餐厅说用100%台湾黄牛，
基本上不太可能。以目前来讲，90%的台湾牛肉都是这样子的黄白牛为主。
OK，
是，
了解。那你们有自己做任何的基因上的去配种吗？
有，我们现在目前我们牧场里面试着就是把在地的黄牛，因为黄牛的耐热性比较好，那台湾的气候比较热一点，所以我们会把不管是安格斯或是澳洲的和牛，我们会试着跟我们在地的黄杂牛做一次的杂交，然后再做纯化。
那这样子他们的生出来的肉的口感会不会比较适合现代人的口味？因为黄牛比较瘦嘛。
对，
黄牛据我所知是肌肉，
因为黄牛是比较瘦，可是它的适应性比较好，所以我们未来的我们的希望是说，我们希望说有兼具耐候性，可以适应我们台湾在地的气候，然后又可以养出高品质的牛肉，然后这个是我们目前努力的目标。
了解。那你个人觉得现在哪一种就是交配出来的你个人比较满意？
当然安格斯跟和牛的种我们叫在美国叫吉黑牛，那这个一定是比较 OK 的一个品种。那再来可是我们寄予厚望的是说，我们希望在地的黄牛跟外国的品种做不同的杂交，发展出属于台湾自己的一个和牛品种
特色。
对，这是我们目前在努力的地方。让我们看到这个，这种我们叫做黄杂牛，它可以在大太阳底下晒，它不会觉得热。
假如你想要培育出最棒的台湾品质的牛肉，最适合台湾料理牛肉的牛品种，会是什么样的特征？
其实我觉得这没有一个特定的答案。其实我们问过那么多的 chef，那他们其实料理的手法不同，我们的适合的牛就会不一样所以其实我们会像我们在提供肉品的时候，我们会跟 chef 那边充分的沟通说，你想要做的是什么样子的料理比如说我们要做塔塔，那塔塔它可能需要说第一个新鲜，第二个就是说我们需要它的牛肉的一个风味是味道不要那么重的，那它的牛种就会比较偏向Hosting 这个系列的不同的方式，不同的处理方式。那假设他做牛排或做烧肉，那当然不同的料理，我们就会推荐它适合不同的部位跟牛种。
Locally raised cattle still only occupies 5% of the entire cattle consumption on the island, right? So there's only space for growth. I think in 10 years, when these guys are able to breed a cow that is perfect for Taiwanese cuisine, it would be cows that have a little bit more fat, but not as much as, say, American cows. And it would be just the right amount of lean right now. Because when you think about it, Taiwanese cuisine is a lot of soups and braises, right? And a lot of hot pot. Hot pot, your meat is sliced super thin, so you don't need it to be crazy tender.
That still doesn't really answer what I'm here to find out, though. Do our cows taste different? And why do they taste different? I'm getting a sense that the secret might be hidden in their bellies.
这个来讲，你可以看到这个是蔗渣，你可以闻一下有没有糖？
甜的，
是甜的，
是真的甜的，
是甜的。所以说它就是甘蔗的外皮，那它的外皮没办法作为糖的，没有办法做糖的时候，那这个皮就是没有作用嘛，因为原本可能它是被废弃啊，
纯纤维基本上是。
对，它是纯纤维，它没有什么养分，可是它就是帮助所谓的牛的一个消化的一个来源。可是它另外一个很好的好处就是说，你刚闻的就是第一个甜，对，有一个天然的甜的香味。那其实牛跟人一样啊，我想大家喜欢吃的东西，第一个色香味。对不对？那味虽然是排第3，可是它是一个很直觉的东西。
对。
来，有没有闻到？你再闻一下。
高粱。
对，这个就是 很典型白酒哦，因为台湾的高粱非常的盛行哦。那高粱在榨完酒之后，其实它的果实，你看你有看到？来，你仔细看，它有一颗一颗的果实。
哎，有。
那另外一个，这个粗的，这个是出坑。那另外一个很特别，就是它已经发酵过了，因为酒我们制酒的过程里面经过发酵。
对，所以它也有一种甜味在里面。
对，它有一个发酵的味道。那牛很喜欢这个发酵的味道。哦，这是很特别的东西，所以说我们会把这些东西混合在一起。
Sweetness. I think the consistent theme of anything Taiwanese is that it's sweeter, but it's not a sweetness from sugar. It's like a very subtle sweetness that is derived from something else that might be associated to sugar. In this case, it's their feed, right? It's fermented sweet potatoes, sweet. It's a byproduct of making gaoliangjiu, which is known to be sweet. And the first thing is the byproduct of cane sugar that is also sweet. So everything they're eating is sweet, right? And it makes sense because they're fermenting it, making it a lot more appetizing. And like, as nature has it, everybody likes sweet stuff, cows included. And so I guess it's inevitable that the flavors of the cow kind of carry over from their feed.
So, it seems like Taiwanese cows do taste different from other cattle, but that doesn't necessarily make beef noodles a must-have icon on our menus. So what gives?
I think it's just marketing, tourism, it's for economy. After the martial law lifted, you have to have something called Taiwan. So you have to create a few dishes that is iconic Taiwanese. Doesn't mean people don't eat beef noodle soup before 1990s. But it does mean that it's after 1990, it became iconic. There's a difference.
In case you're getting confused again, between 1949 to 1987, the nationalist government imposed martial law across the island. Actually, the longest in the world. We Taiwanese didn't exactly see our identities forming until after the end of that period, where we became crazy free to express ourselves in any form and fashion we desired. Blame the soldiers, right? For that long period of non-innovation. Yet things are never that simple, really. And beef noodles in itself reveal something about how some of our favorite foods became the staples that they are today.
It's not wrong to say that Taiwanese did eat beef before the nationalists came over, but the nationalists came over, lots of them are Muslims. So when they came over, they have to have jobs. What do? They have to have jobs. So they have to create, you have to create some job opportunity. Then beef noodle soup instantly become a good opportunity for them. I would think the biggest motivation of creating this is to create job opportunity for these Muslims.
I always say this thing that the Taiwanese people, especially after 1987, are all hustlers. That's how we turned simple things like popcorn chicken and bubble tea into international food phenomenons. But before that, the hustling spirit is probably one of a basic survival skill. Beef noodles, among many other dishes, was created out of necessity to help soldiers find a way to survive as cooks, especially after the war. And even then, recent history after 1949 also changed what we ate. A good example are the wheat noodles found in beef noodles.
When cheap wheat flour became available from the USA, that's when ordinary Taiwanese started to eat a lot more noodles.
There is, however, one last main ingredient in Taiwanese beef noodles I have yet to investigate. The doubanjiang, or fermented spicy bean paste. It hails from Sichuan province in China, you know, that place where people eat chilies for breakfast. But if you've ever tasted the Taiwanese version of it, you might find that it's rather sweet than just straight up spicy. And it's a key ingredient in the dish we are studying at the moment. So what's the story?
那蚕豆其实你看到这样子的过程中，其实已经是本身豆子已经经过蒸煮发酵了，然后在后面我们再做熟成，像上面写的这个日期是6月9号，像现在是9月份，已经3个多月，那那边还有3月份更久的酱。
Mingde Bean Sauce Factory is one of Taiwan's oldest. Urban legend has it that they were one of the first to build a factory mass-producing spicy bean paste on the island.
给我看一下这个灯，我一下哦，这个颜色又更深一点，好，就像有点像咖啡由浅烘焙到深烘焙那种颜色，所以它的风味又会更香醇。
所以这个就是蚕豆，
对，这是蚕豆酱，然后我们另外一边是黄豆酱
，OK， 然后所以你最后是就是
最后如果说，譬如说它4到6个月都熟成了之后，我会开始去做调配的动作，比如说我加了多少蚕豆酱，加了多少黄豆酱，然后再加辣椒酱。
了解，所以有点像
调配，
像 whisky 一样，去把它 blended。
对，要做一个混合，因为当初祖父从四川那边过来，所以他有那样子的饮食习惯，像韩国人吃泡菜啊，四川人吃豆瓣酱等等，所以他就把那边的做法就带来这边。只不过因为其实每个地方的风土都不一样，气候不一样，菌种也不太一样，所以造就后面的风味也都不太一样。
I think I'm most stricken by how simple the process is, right? They really haven't changed anything. If we look at the step by step, it is exactly like what they used to do back in China, right? It's just that they've modernized it. And obviously, like, this is kind of for show, right? They had their bread and butter is upstairs where we didn't get to see.
那因为其实很多人都说，哎，那你们这些都是不是发霉的东西会容易坏呀？其实，主要是针对原料，我们都是用非基因改造的黄豆，然后因为我们有在控制它的湿度，菲律宾这边是18度C，然后让这个地方，因为台湾的气候比较湿热，所以我们用这个比较好的环境控制它的湿度，比较干，所以从好的非基因改造的好的原料进来 ，OK， 然后再直接就是蒸煮，刚刚讲的，我们经过清洗、筛选、蒸煮之后，马上就接菌，接完菌之后长了菌丝之后，就移到外面加了盐水，就是你刚看到那样子的过程。
你几袋这一袋是30公斤，几袋可以做1缸？
一缸啊，大概3、4袋。
Yeah, I mean everything seems really traditional, and like nothing has changed. It's just every aspect of it has been modernized, and you can see how technology has helped kind of develop this and mass produce this, right? It's just the evolution of these things, and the fact that they're preserving all the exact same techniques, just making them more efficient, step by step more efficient. Every step is the same, they just go through a different process. They tweak the process with modern technology to make it more efficient, safer, cleaner.
外面经过半年4到6个月的时间熟成之后，我的酱会进来这边做调配、蒸煮。所以你看到辣豆瓣酱的国外，其实这边就是我们开始加了辣椒酱、黄豆酱、蚕豆酱，在这边做调配，然后蒸煮。这个就是接菌的环境，我们要做一些温控，让它不至于太热，因为菌在发酵都会产热，有时候产到的热会把它自己杀死，或者是杂菌进来。主要就是你看它们就是我们的菌种已经在面粉里面，所以它就是面粉跟黄豆，主要是要搅拌均匀。
了解。那因为面粉会让它的细菌生长的更快吗？
更平均，对，更平均。这刚刚我们已经蒸熟，然后冷却的豆子，对，主要是在这个地方，我们要培养大概3天的时间。颜色也是一样，从浅浅的黄色会变成有一点点黄绿色，所以
这个3天结束以后，就加盐水放到缸里，
对，然后就开始搅拌，
就开始每天搅拌，
这样搅拌，
开始4到6个月的行程。
对。
所以其实豆瓣酱的做法真的是蛮简单的，但就是每一个步骤非常的精准跟搞纲。
简单是因为我们已经把它都一步一步都已经都规范好了。对。
那做70年，
但是很花时间。
对，
很花时间，那必须随着这个时间看它的发酵的风味。
Nothing has changed in the way they make it, but everything is changing in terms of the flavor, right? That's how you have. At the end of the day, this is a business, right? So they have to stay relevant.
这个它是剁椒，
对，但是我们的剁椒跟这个我们叫辣渣，就是辣油的一种，其实并不会很辣。
OK，
对，然后时间上辣豆瓣有2种，这个是最经典的辣豆瓣，然后这个是我们做的风味手酿，它就是更没有添加物，发酵的时间又更长一点。你可以试试看它2个风味到底差在哪里。
所以这个是4到6个月，那这是
那6个月以上。
6个月以上。
炒菜在用，所以单吃会味道比较重一点。那这2支我就是把它配，就是可以直接当小菜。
真的，我现在一对比起来，因为我们店里用的是郫县豆瓣酱，这个就是比较甜，就没有那么的硬咸，对。
更甘甜一点啊，
然后味道更凝聚，比较像一个更 full body 一样。
其实就是当初我算第3代啊，那我们会叫做明德，是我祖父的名字，他叫做刘明德。这边其实是冈山，那冈山它的地名是从日本过来，那后来因为其实国民政府来的时候是接收这个冈山变成空军的一个基地，那会这样来冈山是因为早期我祖父是在四川，我们都知道其实四川人吃麻吃辣吃豆瓣酱。那其实很普遍。那时候他就跟着空军，那时候来到台湾的时候就坐船来到台湾。那到哪边呢？就像刚刚讲，空军在冈山，所以他就跟着下了码头，坐船到码头之后就来到了冈山。那时候就想起说，那以前在四川其实会做豆瓣酱，那眷村里面有很多四川来的人，所以在想说，好吧，那就来做生意。因为既然没有办法在这边上班，我们就做生意，就想起这个豆瓣酱。
The story of survival again. In this ingredient so vital to beef noodles, of a former soldier trying to make a living after the war, and to recreate the taste of a home that they can't go back to. But it's been decades. What makes this version of bean paste Taiwanese and so unlike its origins in China?
就是空军的学生把豆瓣酱带到全台湾。
对。
那因为当初台湾本地人应该吃不太惯这个味道，那是怎么样去？历史是怎么样把它就是带入台湾菜？
应该是说很多菜是可能眷村的妈妈或者是老兵，像譬如后来拿来做牛肉面，做红烧牛肉面，其实很多地方它延伸到桃园啊、台中啊、台北，慢慢做这个，其实很多人都能够接受。只不过后来其实因为台湾慢慢很多南北河啊、川菜啊等等，也都在各地开这些餐馆，也都很普遍。所以我们就做了一些家常料理，像是麻婆豆腐、回锅肉啊、京酱肉丝等等，像这些东西，像豆瓣鱼，这些都是，其实慢慢，其实大家就可以去接受这样子。
这些东西都是，就是非常台味很重，但我也不知道台味到底是什么，就是一吃就是觉得说会很我这个台湾人的胃口，它偏甜。那你们是经历这70年？从刚开始的可能就是非常传统的咸辣，那慢慢一步一步这样子改变到现在这个没有说特别辣，就是辣度适中，然后呢东西偏甜，是来迎合台湾人的口味。那这中间这个变化，你可以跟我稍微谈一下。
因为早期的人，我们都说以前，我觉得跟社会有关系啦。以前人很出劳力嘛，所以我可能要吃的味道比较重，吃重咸啊，味道重油，可能吃了以后才会觉得比较有力气。所以以前都吃饭啊，我一口菜可以配好多碗饭这样子，就是这样配来吃。可是随着这样进展，我发现大家对于健康的要求也比以前要高一点。我说我不要吃那么咸，但是我又希望说能够保留本身 这个菜的或食材的风味，我不能说整个都变淡掉了，所以我们才想说，还是要随着时间去慢慢改善这个风味。
And he said it really matter-of-factly. It does. People's flavors change, so we just kind of change with it. I was trying to push him so hard to be like, hey, how do you decide when to tweak your product? To him, it's just, oh yeah, now we're eating a little bit more sweeter. Now everybody is trying to watch their sodium levels. Then obviously with flavor, I need to keep it how my grandfather used to make it. No, he's very clear-cut in terms of knowing exactly how to follow the market. He's not trying to stay in the past, right? He's trying to also kind of invent the future. And that's what somehow is very Taiwanese to me.
I started this journey trying to understand why beef noodles is so special as a Taiwanese dish. What I found instead is that this dish is like a record of how we've changed, adapted, and adopted to the times. I mean, barely 100 years ago, the colonial Japanese had to teach us how to eat beef, since the local farmers saw cows more as family than food. And then the whole thing takes a turn, when after the Chinese Civil War, soldiers had to find a way to survive, turning to food businesses like beef noodles and spicy bean paste to make a living. We may have gone past that early era of trying to survive, but hidden in this humble, delicious, and sweet bowl of Taiwanese beef noodles is a story of us coming into our own over the course of a century.